And I just want to give a special welcome to the classes of 1970 and 1971. We hope that you are enjoying your 50th celebration so far. My name is Caitlin West, and I serve as the coordinator of events and operations here in the Office of Alumni Relations. And I have the pleasure of being with you all today for our Madison Memories panel. So really quickly, before we get started, just wanted to go over a few housekeeping notes. This is a Zoom webinar, meaning that as an event attendee, you will not have the ability to share your video or audio or use the chat feature. However, we have the Q&A open and ready to accept your questions. So please submit any questions to our panel by using the Q&A feature, which can be found on the bottom of your screen if you are using a computer type device. And if you're on an iPad or tablet, it is likely in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So really quickly, just wanted to start off with some introductions of our amazing panel today. I'll go ahead and kick us off. We are joined by a group of current students as well as some graduates of the last decade or some gold alumni, one of them being myself. So as I mentioned, my name is Caitlin West. I am a 2018 alumni of the Hart School of Hospitality Management and the College of Business with a business minor and a degree in hospitality with a concentration in event planning. I was also just recently accepted into the graduate school, a communications degree. I will soon be obtaining. We start classes in the fall of 2021. I'll be working towards my master's in communication and advocacy with a concentration in strategic communication. So very excited to be a double Duke. I am originally from Richmond, Virginia, and now I live here in Harrisonburg. And my favorite dining hall or dish on campus is kind of an obscure one. I think it's maybe not that popular. It is the Student Success Center. For those of you on the call who don't know, the Student Success Center opened in the fall of 2014, right before I came onto campus, and was funded by the Parents Council. So thank you to any parents of Dukes on the call. We appreciate the funding for that building. It currently holds student success services, including the health center, the counseling center, career services, and will soon be home to the Center for Multicultural Student Services, also known as CMIS. So on the second floor of the Student Success Center, there is a really yummy wood fire pizza option. And so my go-to after a long day of classes was always a pepperoni pizza from the wood fire pizza section in the Student Success Center. So I'm going to throw it over to Ryan, who's going to tell us a little bit more about himself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in for Reunion Week. We're really excited to be putting this on for you. I'm excited that Caitlin actually tapped me to be the one of the young alumni voices for this, because as you can see, 2017, I'm kind of nearing my 5th year out, so I'll be a reunion attendee myself next year. But I graduated from JMU back in 2017 with a degree in media, arts, and design. That program, my concentration was called Integrated Advertising and Corporate Communication, which is now the Creative Advertising program. And like Caitlin, in the fall, I'll begin my master's in communication and advocacy for strategic communication as well. Caitlin and I get to work very closely together in the office as the two coordinators for alumni relations. She handles all of our major events and operations, and then I really focus on a lot of our student programming and initiatives. And so very excited to be here with a bunch of students and serve on a panel with you guys. For me, my favorite dining hall on campus was definitely the old D Hall. So I'm kind of sad to see that go, but I really like the East Campus dining hall that we have. And I'm always partial to Chick-fil-A on campus. But if we're going for like favorite JMU food, I think that if there's peanut butter pie offered in the dining hall, I'm always going to get it, even though I don't even have a sweet tooth very often. But I am a dessert person when it comes to peanut butter pie.
Great choice. Thank you. I'm now going to open it up to the panel to tell us a little bit more about themselves. And so we'll go ahead and get started with Meg.
Hi, y'all. I'm Meg. I'm a writing, rhetoric, and technical communications major. My concentration is in technical and scientific communication, and I'm also minoring in English and honors. And I will be graduating in 2022, so I'm ending my junior year in a few weeks, which is really, really scary. I don't want to think about leaving, but as for my favorite dining hall, I also love the Student Success Center, and I usually go and get a turkey burger with zucchini fries upstairs. They're phenomenal, but it's been closed this year due to COVID, so I haven't had them in a long time.
Thanks for sharing. We'll throw it over to Kira next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kira. I will be graduating in the year 2024. My major is hospitality management, and like Caitlin, I also would like to go to events and coordination, everything like that. And my favorite dining hall is festival, but I also like Freshens.
Great choices, thanks. And we'll head to Brittany next.
Hi everyone, my name is Brittany and I am a media arts and design major and a writing, rhetoric, and technical communication major. So I'm a double major. I do journalism for the SMAD and then writing and rhetoric for WRTC. I am a senior, so I will be graduating in May, and I had a countdown on my phone. I can't think of it right now, but I know it's like 30 some days. We're getting really close and I'm super excited for it. It's so weird to think that, you know, in a couple weeks I will also be considered an alumni. But I think working for this office has made me super excited to see just how amazing our alumni base is and how like I'm definitely still going to be a part of this school and still be a part of everything along with everyone else. And I'd have to say for my favorite dining hall, it doesn't exist anymore. But I really loved Top Dog. It was there when I was a freshman, and I just loved all the food there, the Mongolian and everything. And then if I had a specific food, I would probably say maybe E Hall waffles. It's my favorite thing to get for brunch every weekend. So
Yeah. That's a great one. Thank you. And for our alumni on the call, Top Dog and Duke's were a part of Phillips Dining Hall when you were all on campus. And so we'll head over to Will next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Will. I'm a junior political science major and criminal justice minor with a focus on pre-law. I'll be graduating next year in 2022, hopefully. My favorite dining hall is probably E Hall because I was when I was a freshman, I was on East Campus for my dorm, and I was always partial to the chicken nugget Thursday that they did. And, I mean, you can't really go wrong with unlimited chicken nuggets. So that was a great memory for me.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. For those of you on the call that might not know, E-Hall stands for East Campus Dining Hall. It is the largest dining hall over the bridge on 81 on the East Campus side of JMU. And rounding us out, we'll go to Michelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and I am a dance major that's inside the School of Theater and Dance in the College of Visual and Performing Arts. I would say that my favorite place to eat on campus is at Festival. They have a couple different stations, but mine personally are Tavolino. It's a rotating pasta station that we have right now. And then also there is an acai bowl station, which is really great.
I love the acai bowls as well. So thank you all for submitting questions already. Our Q&A is lighting up, which is so great to see. Please continue to submit those questions as our panelists share. So panelists, as we go into our questions, if you have an answer, just be sure to raise your hand and I will call on you. So to kick us off, we would love to just know what is or what was your most memorable moment at JMU. I'll share first while you all ponder that. Mine would be within the hospitality school, there's an opportunity for seniors and juniors, if selected, to execute a themed event. And for a lot of us, that was our first big event that we had planned, sort of from nuts to bolts, all the way from brainstorming up until closing out the final budgets and things like that. And if you are selected, your event is executed in the festival ballroom. You sell tickets, you set up the whole thing, and it really is your first big event experience in the Hart School of Hospitality. And for me, I remember myself and my group members had been running around all day, and we made it to the portion of the event where it was our turn to come out and say thank you. And I remember walking out, and our event had a lot of candlelight, was sort of an atmosphere we were setting. And I remember walking out of the doors and seeing all of my best friends from school, talking to my best friends from home and my family and parents that were there. And I just had this really sweet moment of sort of seeing my two worlds collide, the people that loved on me before I came to school and the people that were loving on me while I was here at JMU, interacting and sort of getting to know one another was a really special moment for me. So who would like to share next what your most memorable moment was?
I can go. For me, definitely, I had the opportunity in the summer of 2015 to study abroad through the Center for Global Engagement in their Summer in London program. And so I got to go over and live in, JMU has its actually own, essentially a building called the Madison House in London in the Bloomsbury district. And so you get to live in there with about 30 other students. And you live in a flat and you have roommates, like new roommates. I actually got to go with a couple of my actual roommates from Harrisonburg. And we knocked out, I think, 4 classes, so 12 credits that you take over the summer. And it isn't all just fun and games. Yes, we got to, like, over in England, they say faff about. So we got to faff about London, but we also had to take classes very seriously. And go, and I got to do a lot of different classes in like British media and politics and some London theater, just a really, really awesome experience. And included in the program, we also got to go all around the United Kingdom and to Scotland and to Paris. So there were a lot of different opportunities, and all of that is through our Center for Global Engagement.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I also had the opportunity to study abroad in the Dominican Republic, and it was very formative to who I am today as well. So thank you. A few more people who want to share their most memorable or proud moments here on campus.
I can go next. I have a lot. Well, I mean, I've only been here for not even a year yet, but I love JMU. But I would say one of my most memorable moments so far has been rushing for the Greek organizations and being a invited member to Tri Sigma. And so I really am excited to just grow with that organization throughout my time here. And
That's awesome, Kira. Thanks for sharing. We have a lot of Tri Sigma alumni on the call, so I'm sure your sisters are very excited to hear that. Anyone else want to share? Maybe one more person before we move on to the next question.
I could share. I definitely feel like one of my most memorable moments at JMU was going to watch the football game in Frisco last year when we went in 2017. I definitely remember when we won the playoff game, like all of my friends like waiting by computers, like, can we buy the tickets? Can we buy the tickets? And we were all able to get it, and it was so exciting. And we ended up getting like 14 of my closest friends to go, and we rented this giant van, and it was like a 15 passenger van, and like we all just went on this road trip down to Frisco. And like it took so long to get there, but it was so cool because we would stop by like Nashville, and we were stopping by like all these cool places along the way, and then like to actually see the game and be in Frisco. Unfortunately, when I went in 2017, like we didn't win, but it was definitely still like one of the best experiences ever. It was a really close game, and it was just so cool being able to do that with a lot of my friends, especially because some of them have graduated now. So it's something I definitely like to look back on.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing, Brittany. So moving on, I kind of want to talk about kind of the elephant in the room for you all, something that has really impacted your last year as college students. So could you all just talk about how COVID has impacted things for you, how you've adjusted to meet the new challenges of virtual learning and social distancing and things like that? Yeah, Meg, you want to kick us off?
So I was supposed to study abroad in Scotland this past fall, but obviously that was canceled. I was supposed to be studying at the University of St. Andrews over there, but instead I've been in online classes since about March of last year. I haven't had one in-person class since then. So it's been difficult socially, not being around a lot of people, but what I found has helped a lot is keeping your camera on during classes and interacting with people that way. And also having a good small group of friends that you consistently hang out with, keeping your bubble small, but making sure that you're having those social interactions so you don't feel as isolated during this time. Definitely I'm definitely a student that loves being engaged in my classes, so it's been difficult taking classes at home, but there's a lot of opportunities that JMU offers to interact with your classmates in these like new innovative technology ways. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Do you mind, while you're unmuted, sort of just explaining to our alumni this idea of a social bubble? They might not know what that lingo means.
Right. So for my case, I live with 7 other girls in a house near downtown, in the middle of downtown slash near campus. So essentially, my social bubble is the girls that I live with, and then there's a house that of guys that we hang out with through like boyfriends or friends that we're really close with. So essentially, our 2 houses hang out by ourselves, and that's our social bubble. We don't really go out of that social bubble very often unless it's with masks and social distancing. So we're trying to keep our group small, but still have that as normal college experience as you can while being safe. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I think, Kira, you had something to add next.
So mine has definitely been like a lot different than most people, like experiencing JMU. Unfortunately, I came here with the whole issue with COVID, and sadly, we also got sent home after 13 days of being here, and then we had to do online classes for a month, and then we were able to come back, which I'm really grateful for. So the first semester was really hard. Also, go back to my Greek organization, Rush, which is just basically recruitment in order to see if you can be invited within the sororities, was also online, which is very different. So it's been a lot, but I also know that I've like grown as a person because it's let me challenge myself and just figuring out different obstacles and how to go about that. And I think next year is already looking really bright, for everybody to hopefully go back into normalcy or what the new norm will be. So I'm excited, and it definitely has not been the year that I wanted or expected, but I have no complaints because I still have met some of the greatest people, and I love JMU.
Thanks for sharing. Will, did you have something to add to this question?
Yeah. So I elected to do all my classes online, which is probably not something most people would have done. But I had my mom and grandma who spends a lot of time with me had some pre-existing conditions that put them at a higher risk, and I didn't want to have to isolate myself at school and not ever come back and see them. So I just decided to stay at home the whole school year, and I thought that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like I wouldn't miss, or I would kind of just get used to it. But yeah, I'm really missing JMU by now, and I'm excited for stuff to hopefully get back to normal with the vaccine and all that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And we do have a question in the chat while we're sort of on this subject. Have any students been vaccinated so far? I know the university has been hosting vaccination clinics, and here in Virginia, we are now in 1C, which includes higher education. So luckily, myself and Ryan carpooled together to get our first shots, and we have our second dose next week. So we're very thankful for that opportunity. But if you all could share whether or not that has started to come around to the students yet. Yeah, Kira, and then we'll go to Brittany.
So I was able to get my first dose of the vaccine 2 weeks ago, I think, and I will be getting my second one in about the next 2 weeks. And I'm out of state, so it was kind of tricky to see if I was able to get the vaccine or not within being in the state of Virginia, but because of me being a student employee, I was able to. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity.
And Brittany.
Pretty much the same. I was able to get mine 2 weeks ago, my first dose, and I'm getting my second dose in 2 weeks on the 28th. And it was because being in the 1C group, student employee, I did have that opportunity. Although I do know, I think I've been seeing a lot of emails lately that it seems a good portion of the rest of the student body is able to get them now.
Yes, I think that is the trend. So that we're all, I know, extremely thankful for that opportunity. Yeah, Meg.
Also, it's very evident, at least in my friend group, people are so willing to get the vaccine and are excited about getting the vaccine. So it's been great seeing my friends getting vaccinated and keeping other people healthy with that too and trying to stop the spread there. So it's been really encouraging to see the JMU student body being encouraged and all about getting the vaccine to hopefully slow the spread and hopefully be able to get back to normal classes next semester.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. We're going to go ahead and move on just so we can make sure we get to as many questions as possible. So thank you for sharing a little bit more about your classes. I know we're all super interested to hear more about that. So could you all talk about your favorite JMU professor and what made them your favorite or is continuing to make them your favorite? Kira?
I can go. So far, a lot of my classes have been online, so it's really hard to really get that bond or like relationship with your professors. But I was able to have some in person first semester, and so my favorite professor is Aaron Combs, and he's in the hospitality management program or the Hart School. And I just really liked how engaging he was with the students, especially with someone like me and most of the people in my class that are so eager to learn more about the hospitality management business, the industry. And so he really just let us explore from there of knowing where like we want within the industry. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity to have him as a professor because it made me want to learn more about the industry that I'm going into and very excited to learn new opportunities such as internships and potential work.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Michelle?
One of my favorite professors was Dr. Taft Young. I had her for psychology, Psych 101. I believe it was my freshman or sophomore year. And I hadn't really had any experience in that subject before, but she made it really accessible and approachable. She was always open to office hours, and the way that she explained information made it engaging in a way that I really appreciated. Like every day when I went to class, it was really fun and I wanted to be there, and that was just really special to me.
That is special for sure. Will, did you have an answer?
Yeah, so before I was political science, I was a justice studies major, and I took a mapping justice studies class with Dr. Case Watkins, and he was just really great. All my professors at JMU have been very knowledgeable and caring and everything, but he just went the extra mile with like trying to make sure every student got equal time with the instruction and equal help whenever they needed, and try to make sure everyone reached their full potential.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Mine is also a member of the Hart School of Hospitality staff. Her name is Teresa Lind. She is the events professor, and she's just awesome. I feel like she was one of the first professors that really started to treat us like young adults coming from high school into college. I know it's a bit of a transition, sort of leaving your parents and not having that really consistent, like make sure you turn in your work and it really becomes your own responsibility. And she was really the first professor that sort of put that onus on us to sort of take charge of the education that we were getting and the amazing resources that are here on campus and really starting to take advantage of those more. So that would be mine. Moving on to another question in the same sort of arena, what opportunities within your major has JMU presented you? Have you had any internships? Or I know with this past year, it has looked a little bit different, but have you had any internships or joined student orgs or traveled pre-COVID to any sorts of conferences or things like that? Yeah, Meg, go ahead, kick us off.
So right now I am working on my honors capstone with my favorite professor, Dr. Larry Burton of the WRTC department. And with the Honors College, you have the opportunity to write about a 50-page research paper on whatever you want, essentially. And I've been working with Dr. Burton this past semester, planning my topic and getting that preliminary research done. So for the next 2 semesters, I will be doing further research and writing that paper, which I will be able to present to a conference and possibly get published in a journal. So through the Honors College, I've had a lot of opportunities for research and for being published in journals, and I'm really excited about the research that I find and what I continue to talk about with Dr. Burton.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. We have had a few questions, Meg, for you about the Honors College and sort of what that means. So what is honors? How can you include it as a major or minor? And if you could just walk us through that, that would be great.
Right. So my senior year of high school, I applied for the Honors College, and it's essentially, there are 3 different tracks that you can take. As a rising freshman, I was on track A, and that just means that you start taking honors electives, and these can be just any class that you can make honors. So you can make one of your major classes be an honors elective so that you can get credit that way, or you can take one of the offered honors electives that the JMU professors make on their own. And a lot of it's geared towards their interests or expertise. So you take classes from those, and you also have the opportunity to study abroad, which is what I was supposed to do with St. Andrews, get the honors elective credits through that way. And you're in a lot of seminars together, talking through those seminars. And then with the honors capstone, it's just a culmination of your work in the honors college, and you're required to have a final research project or paper, which can be individual or collaborative, but you have to be working with a faculty advisor for that. And essentially it's a minor. It used to just be, I think you were part of the college, but it is a minor, and you have to have about 18 credits of honors electives and classes. But it's been phenomenal. A lot of the class sizes are so much smaller than the normal JMU class sizes, especially as a freshman. So it's been great having one-on-one time with my professors and with classmates that are engaged and just eager to learn more about different subjects. And it also allowed me to live in the freshman honors dorm my first year, which was on East Campus, and it was air conditioned, which was amazing. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Is there anyone else who wants to share a bit more about opportunities that their major has presented them? Yeah, Michelle, I know your major is one that is super interesting for everyone to learn a bit more about. So if you could kick us off, that'd be awesome.
So for my classes, they're all in the Forbes Center. In case if you don't know, that's the Forbes Center for the Performing Arts. It's across, technically across from Wilson at the other end of the quad, and you can see it if you're driving through town. And something that's great about it is that not only do we have the studios in there where we have daily classes, we also have a bunch of really great performing venues. And when we do host shows there, whether that's by JMU students or touring companies that perform there, they need ushers to help the shows. So I've been able to volunteer as an usher at the Forbes Center, which is something that I'm really grateful to have had the experience. I've met fellow students who maybe are in different majors than me, like musical theater majors, and I've also been able to work alongside fellow alumni, which is really great because then I get to hear about their experiences, and also people who just live in Harrisonburg and also volunteer in that sense. So getting to meet different people and see shows, which is great.
That's awesome. And we do have one more question for you that's come in the Q&A. Some folks are really interested to hear what your plans look like after graduation, if you've found a position within your field or planning to join any sort of dance company or thing like that when you head off campus.
So I'm trying to keep more of an open mind right now, just seeing where my path will take me after graduation. So I'm open to maybe teaching dance. I do like ballet, I would say is my favorite style.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right. Anyone else have any opportunities that their major presented them? I can share from my perspective. In order to complete our degree in the Hart School of Hospitality, you have to obtain 600 hours of work experience in the industry before your junior year of classes, as well as a formal 400-hour internship before your senior year is complete in order to fully graduate. And so within COB or College of Business, they really value getting events, in my case, industry experience to make sure that your resume is as beefed up as possible before you enter the workforce. So in my case, I held an internship with a wedding planning company in Charlottesville my sophomore and junior year. And I still am great friends with her today. She gave me so much experience on how to handle the crazy day of pop-up things that happen at events that you can't really learn in a classroom. And so I was really, really thankful for that opportunity. It definitely helped me get where I am today in the Office of Alumni Relations. Anyone else have a comment on this question? If not, we'll go ahead and move on. All righty, hearing none, we're going to go ahead and talk about sort of outside of the classroom, all the other things that you all are involved with and the opportunities JMU has presented you. So this is maybe going to look a little bit different during COVID times, but outside of the classroom, what areas of campus are you involved with and how have they impacted your Madison experience? Yeah, Kira.
So I'm mainly a part of the Greek organization programs here on campus, and through there, I have been able to do so many philanthropy opportunities that I've kind of continued since me being in high school, which I've also done a lot of charity work and philanthropy um, events. So here, it's been really good for me to just continue that and really get involved. Even with COVID, we've been able to still have events via Zoom or raise money through nowadays social media. So it's been really good, and also just for me to meet new people, especially because with COVID, it really was different for us, social distancing and not really having freshman week. And, so through there, I was able to meet more people and also just support the local charities and philanthropies.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else want to tell us about your student orgs or other things that you're involved with? Brittany.
Hey, yeah, so not part like outside of the classroom, I'm a part of JMU's club cross country and track team. Yay. So I'm not like completely a student athlete, so I'm not like have that side of it. But being a part of like a sports club has honestly like changed my life for the better. I've been on this team since my freshman year, coming here all 4 years, and it has been like probably the main impact on my Madison experience. It has been so wonderful being able to be a part of like a team still, because I missed it in high school, running and being a part of that team. So to be able to have that aspect and have people that I can like stay active with and do my sport with, because it's running, so you can run whenever you want to, but having a team to do it with has been so lovely. And pre-COVID, we were able to go to meets and we were able to compete still, which was really cool. And some of the meets would be like far away, like we've been to Michigan and we've been to Kentucky. So it's always like such an experience, like getting in those cars with my teammates and driving to the meets and cheering everyone on. And it's been such a blessing. And even though like COVID this year, we haven't been able to put on any meets or anything, definitely having that friend group has been really helpful. I know like for our team, we've done like Zoom happy hours so we can still like hang out and talk to everyone. So it's been nice to have that friend base as well.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you are able to still have that community. Meg?
Yeah, so I'm a part of InterVarsity, which is a Christian fellowship on campus, and I've been in small groups. I attend large group, and with a lot of leadership opportunities for that as well. And then, of course, I work at the Alumni Center as their student office events assistant, and I absolutely love it. I love working with everyone there and being able to give back to the university in that way, which has been a great opportunity. And I also do an internship outside of class for the Christian organization that I work for during the summer, which has been an amazing opportunity through the WRTC major as well. So definitely a lot to do on campus. It's hard to choose just one or two organizations that don't take up too much of your time, but it's definitely important getting involved. And I love how JMU is so encouraging in that.
Thank you. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, I can jump in. It's been a little while since I've been a student, but one of the biggest things that I did when I was there is JMU actually has a pretty robust a cappella community. So there's 9 on-campus groups currently, and they started back in the late 90s. And so when I was here, I actually had the privilege of serving as the JMU a cappella coordinator. So I oversaw the executive board of the presidents and music directors for all of the on-campus groups. I got to plan their events and everything, and that's kind of where my passion for event planning came from and why I stuck around to do it here professionally. But yeah, that community is really awesome, and they're completely student run. They have advisors, faculty advisors, but really is a formality, and I still communicate with the community and work with them still to this day.
Awesome. And Michelle?
I've been a part of university program board every year, and what we do basically is we plan events and different shows and activities for students, all different students, to come to on campus. And 2 committees that I've been part of are Center Stage, which puts on sort of musical artists, and then also special events where we get to do anything we want, really. And one highlight of that is I believe it was last year or the year before, we actually had to we got to have an artificial ice rink inside of Festival Ballroom, and we had several hundred people come, and that was just really fun to see all the members of the community coming out.
That's awesome. That sounds so fun. I can really quickly share what I did on campus. I, like Meg, was involved with InterVarsity. I led a team through that organization that made videos. And so that was a really awesome creative outlet. I was also a part of Eta Sigma Delta Honors Fraternity in the College of Business, as well as I taught English as a second language with Skyline Literacy, which was a really awesome opportunity as well. So we are now, just looking at the time, going to move over to our Q&A. We've been getting so many awesome questions. For those of you on the call, please continue to submit those as they pop into your brains. One of the biggest questions we've gotten is around UREC, and specifically with all this great food, how do you not gain weight? Is UREC still operating during COVID? Things like that. So if someone would like to share about the University Recreation Center, that would be awesome. I can jump in. I know. So UREC is the campus recreation center or gym here on campus. It is one of my favorite perks of being an employee of JMU. It is the most beautiful facility that I've ever seen as far as a workout gym facility. There's a rock wall, there's a pool, there's a lazy river, there's a sauna, there's multiple floors of cardio machines, running tracks, lots of courts for pickleball, and what's the one where you like hit it against the wall? I can't remember the name, but people play it all the time. And basketball.
Racquetball? Is it racquetball?
And basketball. And so lots of opportunities. So I definitely would say for me, with all the great food, that is how I avoided the freshman 15. And I will say, with campus being so expansive and large, I know when classes are fully in session, we would be from one end of campus to the other in a normal day, all the way from Memorial to East Campus. So always walking, always on foot, biking to and from class and things like that. So that definitely helped. During COVID, UREC has been open and operational, which I know the students and the staff are very thankful for, knowing that physical health is very important for your mental health during a time when we're living in a global pandemic. So the ways that they have made that safe for everyone is by distancing the workout machines, as well as you must register for a time slot when you enter UREC, and you must come between those sort of 30-minute windows for your workout. And masks are required to be worn at all times when you're not, except for when you're doing a cardio type exercise. But if you're lifting weights or walking or anything like that, you are required to wear your mask. So I think that knocked out a few of our questions in the chat. Kira, if we could call on you, I know a lot of our alumni are really interested in the Greek life community here on campus. So do you know roundabout how many sororities are on campus now, and sort of how many students are involved typically with a Greek life organization?
I believe there's about 12 to 13 sororities. I could be wrong. And I also believe that JMU is so well diverse that it's not one of those school campuses that is like, you have to be in Greek life or in a sorority. So I would say the percentage is not that high. I don't necessarily know on top of my head what that is. So I apologize. But that's one of the things I loved about JMU is I always, when I was looking at colleges, I wanted to be part of Greek life, but I also didn't want to feel like I was forced to do that. And so like I wanted to be able to still be involved on campus, even if I maybe didn't choose to do Greek life. And here there's so many opportunities that I was able to do Greek life, but I know like if I weren't in that, I still have so many opportunities and other clubs I could do and etc. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. I know that there are over 450 student orgs and clubs on campus. So I definitely agree with you, Kira, that there really is something for everyone. And with so many awesome opportunities, I don't think that everyone can hit them all when they're here on campus. So I'm sure that we've all had very different experiences with what organizations we were involved with. So just looking at the chat, we have an awesome question about statistically, who or what is the largest employer of JMU graduates? And I think Ryan will know the answer to this one for us.
Yeah, I actually went and referenced the University Career Center, and they actually put out one. This was an infographic for the class of 2019, so I think it might have been a little bit just with COVID and everything since they put out, but a lot of them are primarily companies in the Northern Virginia area. I do know a lot of our graduates do go on to work in different corporations there, so like Booz Allen Hamilton and Deloitte and Cvent and all those kinds of things. But why I wanted to call it out is that a large number of hires actually do stay to work at JMU, which is kind of exciting. And me and Caitlin are a testament to that, along with our entire office staff are all alums. But I did also want to just shout out that JMU, we did rank as the best college for getting a job in Virginia back in 2020. And that's just from Department of Education scorecard data. So we are holding strong as being a great place to come, not only for school, but to actually propel you into your future after you leave.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. So really quickly, I just want to talk about the new Phillips Center for the students on the call. That would be Duke's. No one mentioned that as your favorite place to eat, but I know that's one of our favorites for our alumni. So if someone could let us know what it looks like, what sort of food is inside, and sort of, do you enjoy it? Michelle, yeah.
I actually got to be here when we still had, we called it PC Dukes and Top Dog. On the bottom floor, it was Dukes, and then on the top, it was Top Dog. And then there was also a late night station, so I got to experience that. Back then, there was like a sandwich place, soup place, Mexican station, ice cream, all that. And then on top, like someone else said, there was Mongolian and another sandwich place. But then during my time here, it got torn down, and then Duke's Dining was rebuilt. And inside that, we have so many different places, so many different options. Some of them are commercial, but some of them are also JMU's own places. So we have a Denny's on top, a wings place, Blue Ridge Bowls, where you can get sort of ramen or quinoa bowls. It's a little bit on the healthier side if you're looking towards that. A Panda Express, an Oath Pizza, and also coming soon in fall of 2021, I do believe Panera Bread is set to open, which I personally am really excited about and will be coming back to try. And it's just been a really good experience overall. I do like the options that we have and the variety of food.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I know we're making everyone on the call hungry. We're coming close on dinner time, so I'm sure once our alumni will be able to make it back to campus, they're definitely going to hit up some of those spots. Really quickly, kind of just wanted to take another question from the Q&A. We actually got this in two different places, and so our alumni would like to know how involved the JMU students are in the fight against racism, and just thinking about the name changes of the buildings this year, and just wanting to hear from the students how you all feel about that and sort of what those changes meant to you. Go ahead, Meg.
So I have the unique perspective. I have a brother who goes to the University of Richmond, and I know there's been a lot of talk with their school about changing the names and a lot of controversy in that. But I've been really grateful with JMU for being on top of the importance of language and the importance of what you promote and honor, especially with the new names for our buildings. Immediately, they changed the building names to, I believe, Mountain Hall or Valley Hall, right when it was discussed that it should be changed, which I really appreciate as well. And then they took the time to deliberate on who really promotes the JMU spirit and what it means to be a student here, and valuing the diversity on campus as well. So I think, considering the names for the buildings, I think JMU's been on top of that, and I appreciate how willing they've been to listen to the students, especially those that it impacts directly. So it's been a great experience so far.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else have any other thoughts before we move on? All righty, hearing none, we're gonna head on over to our Q&A. One of the questions we have is sort of twofold about that career aspect. Of course, some of you are closer to graduation than other, but it definitely is, I'm sure, on all of your minds. And so for the seniors on the call, has it been difficult for you as far as internships and positions this past year with COVID? And then kind of just a dreamer question to end our time together today. Upon graduation, what would be your perfect job? If you don't know that yet, maybe your perfect next step, where you'd like to live, or sort of your dreams and goals past Madison. So if we could hear that last question from everyone, but if we want to really quickly touch on internships and jobs before then. Brittany?
Hi, yeah, so as a soon-to-be graduating senior, I will say the job market has been really hard to navigate lately. It was getting an internship in general, I feel like is kind of hard. And I know last year I was set to get one for my junior year, and unfortunately, because of COVID, it got canceled. And that made me really nervous going into this year trying to find a job, because I know a lot of people, a good path to take is, you try to get an internship your sophomore or junior year, and then you hopefully like stick with that company and hope that they give you a job offer. So losing that internship my junior year was like a little nerve-wracking for me, and I was kind of nervous. I definitely had a bit of a hard time trying to find a job. Unfortunately, this year, there were a lot of companies where I would have tried to apply up in Nova, and they were either in a hiring freeze or they were focusing on different sections in the company than writers, and they didn't really need writers at the time. So it was a bit difficult, but I am very happy to say that I did end up landing a full-time job a couple weeks ago. Uh, Thank you, Ryan. And that is going to be in Richmond, so that'll be nice. I'll get to go back home for that, and I'm super excited for that opportunity. As a writer, I'm going to continue writing and being a content writer for a marketing company, which is exciting. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my dream job. I'm definitely super excited, and the opportunity is going to be amazing, and I know I'm going to absolutely love what I'm doing. I definitely want to stay within that, and then continue on with public relation types work, and just kind of hope for my dream job to continue that route of writing for companies, writing for public relations, and then maybe one day coming back for university writing.
We will take you the moment that you come back to us. I know you're going to be a big loss here in the office, but congratulations. That's so exciting. Anyone else want to touch on the job hunt or internships during such a crazy time?
I know for me, it actually worked out for my internship experience right now. Through Passport, the organization that I interned for, otherwise I would have to have done it during the summer in person, and I wouldn't have been able to work camp. And in this way, I've been able to do the internship online and meet through Zoom and do editing work for a company that I'm really passionate about and just that I love, but not have to sacrifice my summer working for camp. So it's worked out for me overall, but I know that I would have probably rather be in person for an internship, and that's been difficult, but it's been great to have the experience nonetheless.
Thank you for sharing. I will say, just from the young alumni perspective and speaking for the alumni on the call, I think that we are all super proud of you all, that you are Dukes, that you are persevering, and that your resilience over this past year to deal with a really difficult set of cards that was dealt to you has been really inspiring. And I know anytime we get to hear about the amazing things that our students are doing is always much appreciated and makes us all feel very proud. So just want to round us out. If everyone would like to share either what your dream after Madison would be for you, or what piece of advice do you have for the freshmen of 2021 entering in fall semester. So if you want to choose one of those questions, we'd love to hear from each of you as we end our time together. Go ahead, Kira.
So I would say my dream job or dream whatever after Madison is definitely just an opportunity of really just seeing where I can go within the industry of hospitality, specifically events. I would say I've always rather really want to be a wedding planner or manage a country club, and also just opportunity for me to travel. I love to travel, and I don't know. I've always said I wanted to live in Hawaii, so who knows if I'll end up there. But and then I also just will add for the advice for freshmen for next year, I say just get involved. It might still look different, or what I have seen or experienced freshman year, but just get involved and really just experience Madison the way you want it. And you can learn how that is within the 4 years, but eventually you'll figure it out.
Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to share next? I'll just repeat the question one more time to make sure we didn't miss it. What is your advice for the incoming freshman class of 2021, or what are your goals past Madison? Yeah, go ahead, Will.
My dream job probably, even though I'm a pre-law concentration and I'll probably end up being a lawyer, eventually I'd like to work for like a federal law enforcement type agency, like maybe CIA, FBI, Marshal Service or something like that. And yeah, that's probably what I'd like to see myself doing 20 years down the line or something like that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. We have so many alumni that work in the federal government space that would definitely be able to help you on that path. Any other thoughts as we round out? Yeah, Meg, go ahead. And then we'll go to Michelle after that.
So I'm planning on going to seminary at some point to get my master's in divinity, eventually getting my doctorate somewhere else in language or linguistics. But I would really like to write from the female perspective of ministry and theology, especially dealing with mental illness myself, or just that perspective I think is really important to share. So especially in the Christian community. So I would just really like to write poetry, write a book. I'm not really sure what yet, but definitely about women in ministry and how important it is that all people get access to that ministry. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Michelle?
My dream job, I would have to say, is something that is challenging and makes me really excited to go to work each day and has good work-life balance, but also has opportunities for giving back and volunteering and just sort of contributing to the lives of those around you. And then also advice that I would have for incoming freshmen is to not worry about what everyone else is doing. I think that if you look around, all of us are doing really great stuff, but we're also doing such different things, and it's okay. And don't really worry about, oh, so and so is doing this. Like, what is right for you is right for you, and just be proud of what you're doing.
I think that's great advice for all of us, no matter your age. So thank you for sharing that. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? Awesome. Well, thank you to our panel. Thank you so much for sharing your very different Madison experiences with us. I know I speak for myself and all the alumni on the call. As I mentioned, that you all you make us very proud, and I think it's great for us to all see that your time spent on campus, that your degrees from Madison, and that the 4 years that you are spending here at JMU really are forming you to be valuable members of whatever community you head to after college. We're excited to watch you all continue to be the change in those communities and to fight for whatever makes you feel impassioned. So thank you all for your time. To our reunion attendees, once again, happy reunion week. We can't wait to continue our celebration with you. Tonight for the X Labs pop-up, if you are going to be creating a Madison shadow box with us, we are so excited to meet with you in that space. And if not, we will see you tomorrow. So thank you all so much and have a great evening.